So I'm just going to start sharing my screen and hopefully you'll be able to see that. Can you see my screen okay? Okay, so just to introduce myself, so I'm Katie Late and I work at ARU College, which is part of Anglia Ruskin University. I've actually been with the college for around 5 years and I oversee the admission into the college. I've actually been lucky enough on 2 occasions to visit Uzbekistan, to visit Tashkent and working with our wonderful partners Universe Group, meeting potential students there. So it's really great to have this opportunity to speak to you all today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a brief overview of ARU College and Anglia Ruskin University. I want to give you a feel for the campuses, to see what the campuses are like, where you may be actually spending between 1 and 3 years of your life. Show you a couple of videos that hopefully also give you an indication of what the cities are like. I'll give you an overview of our portfolio, and actually you can see on screen there a list of our undergraduate and postgraduate degree areas, and talk you through how and when you can actually start with us at ARU College. And then I'm going to focus on the area which is hopefully of most value to you, which is about starting your career. And I'm going to talk to you about how ARU can support you to prepare you for the world of work. So just to kick off now. So obviously when choosing a university, it's really important to get a sense of the academic quality of a university, think about what courses are being offered, but it's also really important to think about where the location of those institutions are and to make sure that you're familiar with the towns and the cities that are in the surrounding areas. So our university has 2 campuses. We've got a campus in Cambridge and a campus in Chelmsford. So hopefully you will have all heard of the city of Cambridge, which is world famous in terms of its academic history. It's really quite close to London, so it's very much a day trip into central London, only 48 minutes by direct train. And it's also very well placed in terms of access to most of the main airports that are in the southeast of England. So very close from London Stansted, but also just around an hour and 20 minutes away from Heathrow and a bit longer from Gatwick. One of the most attractive things about Cambridge is its global community. I heard my colleague from Brunel University talking about how global London is, and absolutely, but Cambridge is equally very global and multicultural. It's also a great location to study because it's got the 2nd highest employment rate within the UK, which means that it's a very sort of wealthy and safe city to study in, but equally it has lots of job opportunities for students as well. Our other campus in Chelmsford it feels very different as a city, Chelmsford. Cambridge has got the history. Chelmsford is a very new city. It's a bit closer to London, so it's only 30 minutes into central London. Again, very well connected in terms of airports, train links, bus links, that sort of thing. And it's actually one of the newest cities in the UK. Chelmsford, in terms of what it's famous for, is actually the birthplace of radio. So Marconi actually sort of founded radio in the city of Chelmsford. So just to talk a bit more about each of those cities. So Cambridge, as I mentioned, has got the rich academic history, actually a lot of history. So Cambridge University was actually founded in 1209. I do want to say that Anglia Ruskin University isn't part of Cambridge University, it's a separate organisation, but we do work together on a number of different projects. And even though Anglia Ruskin University doesn't have the same level of history as Cambridge, we do have quite a history ourselves, and our roots date back to 1858. So we've been teaching at sort of higher education level for a very long time. The city of Cambridge is culturally and architecturally a very desirable place to study. We've also got a very young and dynamic population, given that we've got 2 very large universities based in the city. The population sort of changes on an annual basis, and it's, as I said, very young and vibrant. I mentioned the high employment rate before, and actually an online jobs portal last year voted Cambridge as the easiest place to find work in the UK, given the number of candidates per vacancy. So if you're thinking about what opportunities there may be for you after graduation or working part-time, Cambridge is a really great location for you to be based. It's actually now ranked as one of the top 3 innovation ecosystems in the world. And that is really because of big businesses investing in Cambridge for their research and development hubs, which is sort of bringing a world of innovation to the city. We're known as sort of Silicon Fen instead of Silicon Valley, which is in America. And actually, we've got over 1,500 science and technology-based companies just in the city of Cambridge, many market leaders, including those that have billion-dollar valuations, including companies like Arm. So I'm sure you all are sat with your smartphone. And if you have a smartphone, the components inside that smartphone, or some of them, will be developed and built by that company, Arm. Also, companies such as Microsoft and Toshiba have their European hubs within Cambridge, not in London, actually in Cambridge. And AstraZeneca has its global research and development part of the company based in Cambridge. We're also known as a home to computing and computer gaming. So 18% of the UK computer gaming workforce is in Cambridge, and it's home to a cluster of companies that produce some of the top games within the UK. So I don't know if you've heard of places like Jagex, Frontier Developments, Ninja Theory, and many more. So I've got a couple of images here of our Cambridge campus, but hopefully what I'll be able to do now is flick to one of the presentation, the videos, sorry, I can't see where just bear with me 1 second, apologies everybody. So hopefully you can see my screen there with a video. I'm just going to play you this short video. It only is about 1.5 minutes, and as I said, gives you hopefully an introduction to Cambridge and the campus itself. Okay, so hopefully that video played okay. So just to jump back to the presentation now. So you can see on screen there a couple of images, and I just pop those on in case the presentation, in case the video didn't work. So I'm glad that it did. So just to move through the slides now. Sorry, my computer seems to have frozen slightly. So as well as getting to know what the campus feels like and looks like, and getting to know the city, it's also important to think about where you're going to be living when you choose your university. Anglia Ruskin University has a whole host of different accommodation options. We've got a range of different accommodation options that are based on campus and a few that are based throughout the city. I've just chosen one here to show you a few photos of, which is the example CB1. We offer a range of different studio apartments, en-suite rooms. All of our accommodation that we have is self-catering. So we don't have any catered accommodation, so we provide kitchens, but we do have restaurants and food outlets on campus and within the city if you're not very fond of cooking. All of our accommodation also has study areas, because we know that it's not always that great to study in your room, and you might want to engage with other people whilst you're studying. So we provide those study areas in common space as well for you, if that's what you prefer to do. So now just very quickly on Chelmsford, and again, I'm going to show you a video of the Chelmsford campus. Apologies that there's no sound on the video. I will make sure that our hosts Universe Group have got links to those videos in case anybody wants to watch them in their own time. So as I mentioned before, Chelmsford, very close to London, into central London. The city itself is very modern. You can see in that image there, that's one of the shopping areas, shopping and sort of restaurant areas in the city. But actually it was one of the first Roman settlements in Britain. So again, it's very different. It has a different feel to Cambridge, but it has a history as well. It's a city that's got something for everybody. So great shopping, restaurants, cafes, all round sort of entertainment and events. And actually last year, the Times listed Chelmsford as one of the best places to live in the UK. It's a cheaper living cost, actually living in Chelmsford, slightly cheaper than living in Cambridge. Obviously Cambridge and Chelmsford are cheaper than if you choose a London-based institution anyway. So again, I'm going to try and jump into the Chelmsford video. So I'm just going to start sharing this, and I'm going to welcome you to Chelmsford. So hopefully that gave you a nice introduction to our Chelmsford campus. Again, just another couple of video images in case the videos didn't work, and a couple of images of the accommodation that we offer on the Chelmsford campus. It feels a bit different to the Cambridge options, and there's actually less of a range of accommodation available in Chelmsford, but they're still very modern. All bedrooms are single bedrooms, so we don't offer any sort of shared bedroom facilities. And each room is en suite as well. So just quickly to touch on admission to ARU College. So hopefully on that first slide, you saw that we have a wide range of different foundation, first year and pre-master's options available. And obviously colleagues of mine at Universe Group can provide you with that full list of degrees, or you can have a look on our website. Just to say, September applications are still open, even though it is the 16th or something of September today. So if you are really interested in starting with us this month, then please do contact Universe Group and make your application as soon as possible. If September is too soon for you and you need a bit of time to get prepared for studying in the UK, then a large number of our courses are actually also available in January. Just to mention that we accept local high school into year one. So when you're thinking about studying overseas, entry into a lot of countries, you may need to study for 4 years to gain your undergraduate degree, but actually within England and at ARU, you can enter year one of the degree, so you only need to study for 3 years. I popped on screen there some English tests. Given the world disruption that's happened this year, we've changed the English tests that we accept to open up a wide variety of online tests. So it's not just the standard sort of IELTS and things that we require now. And when things do start to open up a bit more, we have our own English language test, the ELPT, which we will be available to run out in Tashkent. So once global movement becomes a bit easier, then we will hopefully be able to meet you face to face as well. There's lots of information on this slide, but I just wanted to give you a flavour for the January 2021 study options. So all of our foundation courses are available. Foundation is something to think about if you want to study something like art and design and you don't have a portfolio, or architecture and you don't have a portfolio. So foundation, even though you don't need to do it from an academic level point of view, it can be useful for some students in some study areas. In the left-hand column there, you can see the first year options that we've got available starting in January. So anything from sort of business, some sort of engineering related degrees, health sciences, that type of thing. And on the middle and right-hand column is the range of pre-master's options that we have available. So for students that have gained a bachelor's degree in Uzbekistan, you will be able to consider either direct entry to the university into the master's, or a 12-week pre-master's option in a wide range of different courses that you can see there. So as I mentioned before, a real key driver, I'm sure, for all of you thinking about studying overseas is to make yourself more employable, to get yourself a better job, whether that's a higher level job, a better paid job. And so employability and experience really needs to be a key factor in your decision making. And now I'm going to talk a bit more about how ARU, Anglia Ruskin University, helps you become more employable and gain work experience as part of your degree. So actually ARU this year was ranked 5th in the country for UK undergraduates getting in employment or further study 15 months after graduating. So you can see from that statistic there, the real emphasis that we put on a student's employability. And that is from availability of things like part-time work, volunteering, ensuring that you've got access to support to make sure that you're ready to put a CV together, for interview techniques, for all of that sort of thing. But it's also about how we structure our academic courses. And all of our academic courses, regardless of whether you're doing business or engineering, will have some element of hands-on experience, because we know that employers don't just want you to have all of the theoretical knowledge. You need to be able to apply that in real life terms. So that's a key stream that we have running through all of the programs that we offer. So our employability service offers career advice and organises events to help get you prepared for the world of work, including things like visits to companies to give you an insight into what different companies are like. We also work with employers to make sure that you graduate with the knowledge and skills and the ability that they need. So we talk to employers on a regular basis and change the content of our programs to make sure that there's really key skills are included within our degrees. Many of our courses include experience opportunities, whether that's placements or as modules, and others have things like mentorship, industry collaboration, ability to work on things like live projects. There's also loads of opportunities to gain experience with things like volunteering. It's not necessarily something that people always think about at first, but actually it's a great thing to have on your CV. And also for any budding linguists and people that are interested in languages, you can also study for a new language as part of our Anglia language programme. Part-time jobs. So a part-time job isn't going to finance you through your UK degree, but it's going to give you some pocket money, but also some really valuable experience for you to take into the world of work when you graduate. And to help you find that part-time work, we have ARU temps to help you secure part-time work to work around your studies. And students, before they actually get onto campus, once you've accepted your offer, can register with online temps. And then drop in and see the team once you actually arrive on campus. Just something to note that there's obviously restrictions that apply to working during term time, visa restrictions that do apply, so you can only work a maximum of 20 hours per week. And that's about right, because when you're studying a full-time degree, you should be expecting to do about 40 hours on your degree a week. So you won't have time for any more than that 20 hours of work. Industry links. It's really important to think about how the university is connected with industry to give you access to some of that sort of industry. Just to focus on a couple of things here. So back in 2012, we actually launched our MedTech campus, which is one of the world's largest health innovation spaces. And it gives companies of all sizes that are connected to technology or health and medicine access to research expertise, specialist staff, testing and clinical trials. But the important thing is it also gives our students access to those companies. So there may be opportunities for you to work alongside those companies and gain some experience with them. Following that launch of MedTech in 2013, we actually launched what is now known as Arise Chelmsford, which is an innovation space offering companies of all different sizes, startups, early business stage companies, access to that space. And that's not just in the sort of medicine and technology area, that's in all areas. We also have a wide range of long-standing partnerships with big business and industry, including places like Barclays Bank, UPS, Harrods, Jagex, Frontier. So students of ours regularly go on work placements and work with those companies on things like live projects. We're also we're a very entrepreneurial university, and what we don't just want to do is prepare students to work in existing businesses. We want students to think about how you can be entrepreneurial yourself and really develop and encourage that entrepreneurial spirit. So we have Anglia Ruskin Enterprise Academy, which is a central hub that sort of develops and coordinates all enterprise and entrepreneurship extracurricular activities across the university. So just to give you an idea of a few things here. So we run a seminar series called Be Your Own Boss series, which is a series of free evening seminars that focus on things like, we have guest speakers that come in, but we focus on things like team building, pitching, presenting, marketing, networking, managing finance. So really giving you the insight and the skills that you would need if you were to start your own business. We also have a student business startup support scheme, which is a virtual hub that provides dedicated support to people that are interested in starting up their own business. And we also finance some students. So every year we have something called the Big Pitch competition, which gives students the opportunity to win up to £10,000 to invest in your business. But also every person that enters an idea into the Big Pitch competition, even if you don't win, will gain free business mentoring and professional advice. Also, we have run over the last few years something called Impact 24, which is a social action hackathon, working with local charities in our cities to come up with ideas and solutions, working with them within a 24-hour period. And we really look to support our students. So for students that finish and graduate but want to stay within the UK to start up their own business, then we do also offer students the opportunity to switch from a Tier 4 to a Tier 1 graduate entrepreneur visa. So as I mentioned, hopefully that gives you a brief introduction to the university, a feel for what our campuses are, looking at what portfolio we have to offer, and then thinking about how we can help you find that job that you really want at the end of it. So hopefully there's going to be some questions for me now. So back over to my colleagues at Universe Group.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Katie. Yes, we have some questions for you. Please, could you give some information about job opportunities in Chelmsford for international students?
Yes, so the job opportunities will be very similar actually to what there is in Cambridge. For part-time work, there's a lot of bars and restaurants, shops and things for students to be able to gain part-time experience. There's also opportunities for students to work on campus. Given as well that that Chelmsford is so close to London, and we're only 30 minutes out of central London, then there's, it opens up the opportunity for students to gain experience on things like placements and things within the capital city because it's within commuting distance. So there's lots of opportunities in Chelmsford as well as Cambridge.
Thank you. And as you mentioned before, so the living cost in Chelmsford is cheaper than in Cambridge. Could you please tell us the cost of accommodation in Chelmsford and in Cambridge?
Yeah, so the price difference per week is, it depends on the type of room, because obviously there's cheaper options in both cities and more expensive options. So I'd be looking at anywhere around the sort of these £85 to £110 mark. In Chelmsford, as I said, it is slightly cheaper, and it's probably about £10 cheaper a week than some of the Cambridge options that we have available.
Thank you. And let's talk about medical degrees. So will the students get applications directly or via UCAS only?
Sorry, what do you mean?
Will students get the applications directly or they will get it from UCAS?
Oh, okay, sorry, UCAS. Yeah, sorry. So for medicine, we've offered a medical degree within Anglia Ruskin for the last 3 years. Students have to apply through UCAS, but obviously students are still able to gain support from Universe Group to provide them help to apply through the UCAS process. Most of the spaces available for medicine degrees are very much focused on UK students, so there's a very limited opportunity for international students currently, unfortunately, for medicine. And at the moment we don't, ARU College itself doesn't offer any sort of foundation or year one entry into medicine. It is only direct with the university.
Thank you. And the last question is about the tuition fee.
Yes. Yeah, so I didn't know if you were going to ask the same question about, why choose Anglia Ruskin, and, just to sort of to focus in on that and the tuition fees. So, we offer a wide range of different courses. So depending on what somebody wants to study, we've got access to all of those. As I mentioned, our employability are in the top 5 in the UK for undergraduate employability. We are based in 2 very beautiful and safe cities, but actually, we're also very reasonably priced. So our tuition fee is very reasonable. Our foundation is around £11,000 and our first year fees are around £13,000. And there are sometimes some small discounts and scholarships that we can offer. But as well as the reasonable tuition fees, we're not a sort of big inner city based institution. We're not based in London, so actually the living costs are so much cheaper. There are things like, you can save on things like travel within our cities, because students in Cambridge is, very famous for bicycles. So people don't have to pay for things like travel costs and that type of thing. So yeah, very reasonable tuition fees and living costs in both of our cities.
Thank you. Thank you, Katie. It was great.
It's been very nice to spend some time with you, and enjoy the rest of the sessions. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Yana bir bor assalomu alaykum. Endigina onlayn ko'rgazmamizga qo'shilgan, endigina kirgan studentlarimiz va ularning ota-onalari. Hammaga xayrli kun. Ozgina kompaniyamiz haqida ozgina ma'lumot berib o'tsam, eslatib o'tsam, bizning kompaniya Universe Group 2015-yildan beri faoliyat olib boradi. 50 tadan ortiq davlat universitetlari bilan, top universitetlari bilan hamkorlik qiladi. Buyuk Britaniyada, Avstraliya, Gollandiya, Amerika Qo'shma Shtatlari, Kanada va Germaniya bilan. Hamma universitetlar top 5 ga kiradi dunyo bo'yicha. Bizning xizmatlarimiz bepul konsultatsiya, boshdan oxirigacha qo'llab-quvvatlaymiz. Hujjatlarni tarjima qilish va notarius orqali tasdiqlash, grant va stipendiyalar olishga yordam beramiz. 100% universitetlarga kirishingizga kafolat beramiz. Universitetlar vakillari bilan tez-tez uchrashuvlar bo'lib turadi ofisimizda. 1000 tadan ortiq kursant talabalarimiz kompaniya tomonidan yuborilgan. Hozirgi kunda ikkita ofisimiz mavjud. Bosh ofisimiz Toshkent shahrida joylashgan xalqaro biznes sentrda. Samarqanddagi filialimiz Hamkor biznes sentrda joylashgan. Yana eslatib o'taman, ushbu ko'rgazma O'zbekistonda birinchi marta olib borilmoqda bizning kompaniya tomonidan va 10 ta davlat top universitetlari bilan hamkorligida. Ushbu ko'rgazmada juda ko'p va qiziq ma'lumotlarni bilib olasiz universitetlar haqida.
Приветствую всех еще раз, кто только присоединился к нам. Напоминаю, что компания Universe Group существует на рынке в Узбекистане с 2015 года. Мы сотрудничаем с 52 всемирно признанными университетами в 9 странах мира, таких как Австралия, Англия, Америка, Канада, Голландия и другие. Все университеты входят в топ-500 лучших университетов мира. После окончания университета ваш диплом будет котироваться и признаваться в любой точке мира. В наши услуги входят бесплатная консультация. То есть, если у вас возникли вопросы, вы не получили ответ или не успели его задать, то спокойно можете записаться на консультацию, и мы более подробно вам все объясним. Также туда входит документальное сопровождение, помощь в получении грантов и стипендий, познавательные встречи с представителями университетов, полная визовая поддержка, эффективное содействие в процессе всего поступления. У нас на данный момент более 1000 довольных студентов. Наши офисы. Главный офис находится в городе Ташкент, в международном бизнес-центре. Филиал в городе Самарканд, в бизнес-центре Хамкор. Еще раз напоминаем, что вам очень повезло, так как сегодня у нас состоится очень уникальное в Узбекистане мероприятие специально для Universe Group совместно с 10 лучшими университетами Великобритании. Мы очень надеемся, что данный семинар помог вам определиться в выборе университета. Далее у нас третий университет, его у нас будет вести Мо Садеги, университет Хертфордшир.